My name is Matthew Eickman. I'm the CEO of Abra Kadabra Environmental Services based out of Minnesota. My position is trying to look into the future and see kind of where our company will be and thinking down the line how the customer is going to want to make a purchase and how we can kind of make that as frictionless as possible. I was introduced to BidClips through my business coach, Seth Garber. I've been working with him for a few years, and he introduced me to this technology about 6 months ago now, and we implemented it almost right away, and I saw how much time it could really save our team. At that point, we had too many calls coming in, and we just couldn't get to them fast enough. The thing that I like the most about BidClips is that it leverages technology to better serve our customer in a much faster manner, which I believe that's the direction the customer is going. And I also think that it decreases the amount of time that my company has to spend to serve those customers. So it creates this sales velocity to help solve a customer's problem faster once the information's in the BidClip system. I think that's incredibly powerful. In the Amazon era, people are looking to swipe and click a few times and they want a purchase to be made, and it gets our industry very close to doing that. Just really the ability to take care of a customer without physically having to do it. We understand that our experience is a repeatable experience for the most part, and this helps us kind of fill in some of those gaps and make sales or send bids without physically having to touch it. So our ROI is decreased time spent in the office to take care of our customers. We're in an industry where customers are in a very reactive state of mind. They reach out to us when the issue's already there. So when they call us, they want it to happen really, really quickly. Now when they call and our CSR answers, we can help them do that very quick. But one of the biggest barriers to serving our customer as a small business is answering the phone and getting it scheduled. So the marketing component can be really, really strong, but if you're a small solo operator, you got a couple guys and you're in the field, being able to get that customer's information without actually having to talk to them literally could mean you selling that business or not selling it, just because whoever answers first wins. And this gives another tool where we can capture the information way sooner in the process when they're at the marketing stage rather than the intent to purchase stage. When a customer is on your website, they're looking to purchase. Until they see something on that website that wants them to purchase or simplifies their purchasing process, they're not really doing that. So if your website converts, that's great, but then that can become a hindrance when you're on a roof trying to take care of a customer or trying to set up a squirrel trap on a soffit and you have your phone ringing off the hook. I know myself, I wanted to throw my phone off the roof at some points because I had to sacrifice the customer I was trying to serve to take care of that customer that I know I'm spending money to get that phone to ring, or seeing that I had 24 emails I needed to get back to from a lead form and they've been waiting for me, right? So BidClips allows that customer to feel like their problem's being solved instantly as soon as they reach out to us. So the depth of the relationships that we get, like at some point we have customers that are just waiting for us to get back to them, and if we have too big of an influx, then I'm letting people down that are really counting on us to help them solve their problem, and that's not okay with me. So in order to better serve our customers, BidClips has really been something that helps us communicate when we have a lot of other communication or other things going on, and we don't want people to feel like we don't care, because we really do care. And most business owners do. It's just like there's only so many things to have your focus and the most care at a certain point. So it's just that balance, and BidClips has really helped us just kind of create processes that run, and it delivers a really healthy customer experience overall. The feature that stands out to me the most is, if you set it up properly, being able to get a customer a quote without ever having to touch it. You can program geographies, service types, and different triggers to get it to the point where if the customer gives you the proper information, they got a quote right now. That's incredibly powerful. That's Amazon. Like, that's how people buy faster, is by letting them do it and giving them the tools to. Sales velocity is like the biggest benefit of having BidClips. Another really cool component to it that I do like is you can get the customer involved in solving their problem through submitting video or pictures through the BidClips platform and really interface with them and get them kind of engaged in the process of solving their problem and start down that journey together. Instead of them waiting for you to show up, you can start gathering that info before your tech even gets out there. I think that's a pretty cool function within BidClips that we probably aren't utilizing to its fullest potential right now, but working on it. So right now, our organization is just using it in the office. And the biggest thing I think it frees up is just the time that our admin have. Really before this, like we were closing deals and making sales mostly on the phone because it was the quickest way we could do that. This really takes that to a digital format and communicates in a manner and a language that I believe the consumer is starting to prefer via text message, email, some type of instantaneous messenger where they don't actually have to talk to you. And by leveraging that, now we can use standardized follow-up messages, we can use different triggers in there, and it multiplies the time of the people that we have in the office while still delivering a really high quality customer experience. The gathering of the info at the point of inquiry, there's not like, hey, I'm interested, and then now we have to call them and get all this info from them. Like we can get that right when they first put it in, and the sales process begins then, as opposed to waiting until Monday or tomorrow morning or whatever. If my customer calls in 2 minutes after we close shop and people walk out the building, they can still feel like we're taking care of them. And when it comes to growing a company, you really want to leave people feeling like you care. If they feel like you don't care, they're going to find someplace that doesn't make them feel that way. Our customers benefit from BidClips because we can give them what they want faster, which is a feeling of their problem starting to be solved. Even if it's not actually being solved, the process of spraying for the pests isn't actually occurring, they're starting to feel that, and because of that, the stress they have in that situation is starting to go away. And that's really our job, especially in the pest industry, is removing the stress from the sales process. This helps us do that without a pleasant voice on the other side of the phone having to do that. It doesn't matter when somebody calls us or when somebody wants to get in touch with us, if they can get their info into the BidClips platform, we can start solving their program right now. And everything that we have is trying to funnel it to that, because what we've seen is that that experience for our customers is smoother, there's less friction, and because of that, they want to do business with us, and they have a greater propensity to do business with us because we give it to them faster. They want it fast. They don't want to wait 2 days to talk to us, let alone for their problem to be there. So it shrinks the time for the customer, but it multiplies our time in the office, which I think is pretty cool. So it's like a time hack. That'd be a good one. I think something that's really important with BidClips is how easy they make the implementation process. They've been fantastic with us because just how we've gone and really dove into it to try to peel back some of these layers and help find some of the things that maybe BidClips can tweak or work with to improve it for the pest control industry as a whole. And we found some things, and through that whole process, they've just been extremely pleasant to work with, which from a tech company, you don't always get that. Sometimes you can get very robotic answers and like not a lot of humor. Everyone we've worked with at BidClips has been just easy, and they understand that we don't know what they know about the system, and they're patient and help us through that. I don't like feeling like I don't know something, and a lot of other people don't. And BidClips never left anyone on our team feeling like they should have known something that they didn't, or like they didn't have time for us. They had the time for us, and they were incredibly patient in that time, more so than I probably would have been. So yeah, I think that the team that is behind BidClips, it makes sense why it's such a powerful tool, because in my opinion, the people behind a business are what really create that business and why it's good or bad. BidClips is great, and I'm not surprised that the people behind it are great. So that was pretty reassuring for me. I've had some not so pleasant tech experiences in the past, and they just made it real simple, not only for me, but for my team. And they've helped with onboarding and stuff like that as well, just so we can learn the stuff we don't know, and they understand it's a process rather than, here's this thing, plug it into your site, all right, not going to talk to you anymore. That's a lot of people's fear with technology. Like in the industries we work in, we don't want to really mess around with that stuff. That's why we're working with our hands, or we're in the trades, and they make it so that we don't have to know everything. We just have to know enough to work with what they've created, and it's just real easy to work with. And I can see that there's a lot of potential for it to grow and improve still, and they're constantly working on that. They're not just okay with what they created. It's still getting better each day. That's important for me. I don't want to have an outdated technology in 2 years, and they're doing what they can to make sure that we're not going to end up in that position.